How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing another movie review, and this is like the highest rated movie of all time, and honestly it has a bit of reason to be that. If you don't know, I'm talking about The Godfather. I was expecting a lot just because of the name. Like, you think The Godfather and you think, whoa, that's like such a big name, it must be such a good movie, and it's just something that you're constantly thinking like, hey, it probably is going to be very good. And I just have to say that it doesn't disappoint. If you're into like the whole action sequences and making sure everything is just like super flashy and stuff like that, you're not going to get this. This movie is a 1979 classic, I'd say. I've been told by a lot of my family, like, hey, you should watch it. It's a really good movie. But I just never got around to watching it just because I always saw it as a bit not as modern, which is my fault. But after watching the movie, I can confidently say that it is one of the best movies I've ever seen, respectively, because obviously my genre is a completely different one to what this movie is entitling. And not saying that I didn't like the genre of this movie, I do like it. It's just I'm a bit more into the flashy stuff and the story and stuff. So this movie isn't exactly for me. It's not exactly towards my audience, but it is a really good movie, and I really did enjoy it. Like I said, if I was into this genre, it would be my favorite movie of all time. The issue with this movie is that it is 3 hours long, and since it's not as flashy, not as this, not as that, you do feel the 3 hours, but you don't complain about the 3 hours because it's such an interesting movie. It's such an interesting narrative, and I really enjoyed the movie. Like I always do, I always give a bit of spoilers and I always give a bit more of an in-depth review, but this movie came out in 1979. If you haven't watched it, then what's wrong with you? This movie is a very interesting narrative because it shows like the change of a like empire, I guess I'd say, because first you have Don Corleone, which is the original Don, and he is like, everyone looks to him for help with the certain things and certain stuff, and the movie starts off in a very serious note. This dude is asking Don Corleone for help, and Don Corleone he helps him, but the movie, like, you don't really get too much of an exposition of these characters. You kind of get thrusted straight into the story, and you start to learn little bits of everyone. And I really did like that, because if you stay there trying to learn, oh, Don Corleone, this is his story, this is that, they do give a bit of like introduction to the characters. Like, hey, that's Don Corleone's son. Michael is most likely the main focus of this movie, and I'm pretty sure that he is, and that's on purpose. But he's like one of the most interesting characters. He's like the hypocrite, I'd say, in a way. He's like, no, I'm not going to join my dad's business. Like, that's strictly his side. I'm just an innocent bystander. I ended up being his son, but I love my dad and everything's great. Until Don Corleone gets a hit out for him and he somehow ends up surviving. Then Michael decides to take over, and it's kind of like a Breaking Bad moment where, you have this good Samaritan, this good guy, he just turns bad. Well, not bad, but he turns into the mob boss. And it's a very interesting narrative. I just gotta say, I really liked the movie. It was a very good one. And yes, I know it's not the flashiest, but I really love the narrative and how you can focus on every character's motivation. And there's a lot of interesting cinematography. For example, when Michael goes and he kills the police officer and the drug selling dude, he goes and you can, like, just the train gets louder and you can see Al Pacino is the actor. You can see Al Pacino, like, his like face is like getting more serious, and then he just, like, all of a sudden, no noise except for the train passing by, he just pulls out his gun and shoots them both in a very intense sequence. The movie is a very intense movie, even though you're not really seeing even though it's not like Iron Man fucking shooting up a fucking Hulk or something like that. You don't see that. You see a lot more of a subtle action. It's more of a Cold War, but we will be attacking each other in some direct/indirect ways, and then the whole mob families get involved, where Don Corleone, despite his other son dying, he has to go. He has to like be the bigger man and say we need peace, because we cannot be fighting like this. And everyone else agrees. Don Corleone is seen as a like smart Don and as a smart person, which is a very interesting character arc for him, especially because at the end of the movie he does end up dying, but he ends up dying in peace, which is great. And then that's when Michael really takes over. Michael is doing side quests the entire movie. It is insane. At first he's like this dude that he's got his whole life figured out. Then he shoots these two people, goes into hiding to Italy. He has a girlfriend in America, but then ends up getting married there for some reason. He just like ends up getting married, and then his wife gets blown up in like the most random sequence. And he's like, oh, okay, I'm going back to America, finding my ex-girlfriend and marrying her, having a kid with her. He's just going through all these side quests, and it's honestly really crazy. I think this movie, it does a very good job at everything that it's trying to do. It's beautifully crafted, honestly. You see the movie, and there's not a second in the movie where I think this has gone on for too long. I could have watched another hour of everything that was going on, and I would have loved it, because the movie just did everything very well. Plugging this into my meter of stuff, I'd give it a 9.8. Honestly, yes, I know I say it constantly, it's not my specific genre, but I can like movies that aren't action movies. I can like movies that aren't horror movies. I can like this type of movie. I can like these type of crime family dramas that are amazing, and I really enjoyed it. And I know that if you go and watch it, you're gonna enjoy it. I don't think that it's like a very specific taste to say. I think that anyone can enjoy this movie. I just think that some will enjoy it more than others, and I honestly thoroughly enjoyed it, which is why I give it a 9.8, 9.9. Really highly rated movie, and I hope that you guys can see why I find it that highly rated. And I know I was late to watching this movie. I watched it yesterday, I think, and for the video it's going to be like 2 days ago. And the reason why I was very late was because I saw that it was coming out in the movie theater, and I'd rather go watch it in the movie theater than in my apartment or in my home, just because I want to get that movie experience. And also, I get less distracted in a movie theater just because, you know, when I'm home, I can do this, I can edit, I can record, I can do that. If I'm home over in Houston, I can go be with my family, I can be with my girlfriend, I can be with, I can do this, I can do that. And so it's just a very nice way of just watching the movie and just like dialing down. So yeah, that's why I waited to watch it in the movie theater. Very good movie, very good. Go watch it. I hope to see you all in the next video, when I'll probably be doing some gaming shit. I still don't know. I don't really have a schedule. But I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.